again. So, different space than my last video, if you watched it. A couple of spoiler alerts here. I have 2 cats, and I'm not able to contain them when I'm in this room, so you may see them going in and out of the frame. So, there's that. Also, still experimenting with the music and all that good stuff, so hopefully it doesn't distract from your practice. Would love any feedback, and there's one of my cats now. Would love any feedback that you might have, and if you prefer that I don't record these with music and you can play your own, that's certainly an option. Go ahead and start down on your back today, which is often where we start in my classes. I'm going to remain seated and just kind of instruct and pretend that you're here in front of me. I miss all of you, by the way. I hope everyone's doing really well. So just go ahead and lay back and just listen for the sound of my voice, the direction from my voice, and close your eyes. Now, of course, if you want to start somewhere else, maybe you would prefer to start seated. We're just grounding at this point. So if you want to do that on your belly, in a child's pose, whatever's calling to you, it's your practice. In my own home, in my own space right now, I'm hearing the sound of the birds. It is morning, not as early morning as last time when I recorded. Maybe you're hearing some sounds that are also very peaceful, very calming. Maybe you are dealing with some sounds from the other room that are creating a little more of a challenge. We've talked about this before. Being able to find the peace and the meditation in a more challenging space requires more work, and that's a good thing. Might not feel like a good thing right now, if that's the case for you. But it is what it is. Just be with it if you can. Start to draw your focus inward with your breath. Building it slowly, letting it happen on its own. Belly fills. If you are lying on your back, you're starting to feel your lower back press against the earth as well. And when you exhale, just let everything out completely. This is certainly something you can do off the mat, utilizing this breath, this tool, to bring yourself back to your center and keep coming back inward. If you did choose to start elsewhere besides your back, have you just gently start to make your way down onto your back now. Once you have released down, everybody take the next inhale and just take your knees now into your chest and starting to roll a little bit side to side here. This is an opportunity to massage out the back and the shoulders and the areas in the back that feel kind of tight. And then let's open the arms out into a T. And you're going to just start to move the legs side to side. So bringing them to one side. Use the full inhale to bring them to center. Exhale to the other side. Coming back to center. Hear a little creaking. My house is over 100 years old, so it has its own voice. Good. Now, the next time that those knees are moving on over to the right, let's settle right into a spinal twist. You may end up putting something under the knees here to give you some support if you need. Your gaze can be to the ceiling, or you may entertain the idea of turning the gaze towards the left hand. It's going to kind of complete the twist, but it's not incomplete if you don't do it. Now coming back to those deep breaths here. Good. We'll take the knees back through center on that inhale. Just let it happen organically. And then the knees will drift over to the left. Again, maybe placing something under there. Give yourself some support if you need it. Lift your head, turn it. So, of course, you don't need bolsters and blocks and all the fancy stuff we have at the studio. A pillow or a blanket will do the trick just fine. Bring everything back to center. Good. Let's go ahead and grab the outside edges of the feet now. We're going to move into a happy baby, getting right into the hips first thing in the practice today. You're always free to move this around. And remember, you're at home, so you can get a little playful with this. I like to kind of smack my feet together, or even kind of bring the feet closer to the face, just as a baby would do. Then we're going to release those feet down. Place them right in front of the hips now. Arms down to the sides. Let's go right into some moving bridges. So now we're going to start to connect movement to breath. We did that when we were going side to side, just repeating it here. So articulate movement of the spine. Lift the hips, roll them up. And then exhale, top of the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Breathing and moving here. Now, if you decide you'd like to add some arms to this, when you inhale, you can take the arms up and over as you lift the hips, and then exhale, bring everything back down. Okay, the arms, adding the arms creates just too much to think about, and we all have too much to think about right now anyway. Then leave it out. Purpose of your practice is to hopefully give yourself some time to relax and just be in the moment. No need to add stress. But now on this next one, we're going to roll up, and arms are staying down to the sides. If you want to roll onto the shoulders here, interlock the fingers. Let's lift it into a static bridge, holding here. And then maybe lifting your right leg, just extending it up. Exhale, release the foot to the earth, and then inhale, left leg comes up. Then release that left foot back down. Lift the hips up just a little bit higher. And then releasing, the shoulders roll all the way down. Tuck the knees in. And take the head to the knees now, creating some rounding here. Good. Let's let the left leg come back down. We're going to keep the right knee drawing in. Your bind can be here on the shin or on the back of the thigh. Shoulders are releasing down to the earth. So if you're really rolling up here, try to keep that openness across the chest. And this can be still, or if you want to explore some movement here, it might feel good to get into that hip, get into the toes, the ankle. Lots of options here. Let's go ahead and switch the bind to the back of the thigh if it's not already there, and just stretch that right leg up. Now here as well, you can move things around, taking some circles. Maybe the arms just come down to the sides, get back into the ankle and the toes again here. To explore some wider movements, maybe some even bigger circles. You might find it helpful to put your left hand on your hip here to stabilize. eventually we'll just lower that right leg all the way down. Take a moment now, just pause here. You're going to feel the difference between the right side and the left side. You'll probably notice that the right side feels longer. And we know that that's not the reality. It's probably a tiny bit longer, but perception isn't always reality. So now let's take the left knee in, find a bind. Maybe taking, again, the shin or the back of the thigh. There's my cat again, insisting on being on the action here. Remember to get into the toe and the ankles, the foot. So I'm doing a different kind of recording today, just trying something out. I may have to keep kind of moving back towards the screen to be able to see what I'm doing, so I apologize if that's throwing you off. Let's go ahead and extend the left leg up now. And again, you have some freedom to explore some movement here, circles, or be still. You can walk your hands up the leg. This is what's going to suit you. This is so much, at least for me, so much of the practice is figuring out what works for you. Again, if you're making those circles, you might bring the right hand onto the hip just to feel that stabilization there. And then eventually we're going to lower that left leg down. Let's hug both knees in. Give them a squeeze. And then finding your way up to seated. So it might be a straight roll up, it might come onto your side first and then go there. Easy seat. Of course, you know you can always have your feet forward, or if your knee is healing, maybe one leg is straight forward. Whatever easy seat means for you. So reconnect with the breath here. Hands can come up onto the knees. We're going to start to make some circles. Be big or small. In case you're wondering what my cat's name is, it is Scout. We call her that. Go ahead and change the direction of the circles. She's named after the cat in To Kill a Mockingbird, or the girl in To Kill a Mockingbird, because she's extremely vocal, and fortunately she's being quiet right now, but I can't guarantee that that'll stay the way that will stay that way. All right, back to center here. So make sure that your right foot's in front if you've got your left foot there currently. Just gonna switch it. Do a little bit of a flow here. So we're gonna exhale and take the left ear towards the left shoulder, and then the right hand outside the right leg. Now if you want to take your left hand onto your head, you're gonna just create a little extra weight there. Continue with that deep breath. We're going to take the head back to neutral, extend the left arm up, walk that right hand up to the right. Let's take a side bend over to the right. So try to keep opening towards the ceiling. Inhale, come on up. Now we're going to walk the right hand behind the back, left hand's coming over to the right leg. Take an inhale. Get some length. Exhale. Let's gaze back. So the chin starts to move over the shoulder, here over the right shoulder. It might not come directly over the right shoulder. Now there's an optional lifting of the right arm here. That's the arm that's behind you. Might feel a little awkward. Leave it out if it is. If you want to lean towards your left knee, you can do this regardless of whether the arm is lifted. Rising back up, we're going to bring that hand back. back down if you lift it. Take a deep inhale. Maybe there's room to twist, just eke a little bit more out of the pose. And then as we start to come back, this is why we have the right leg in front, we're going to swing it off to the side here. So we've got that foot flexed. Move the flesh around so you're sitting up tall. Turn out over the left or the right leg here. Now we're going to take an inhale and get some length. And you're going to work with a flat back. So the idea is to keep that hinging in the hips rather than rounding here. We will get there. Let's take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, come forward. First breath. Just find that first edge, that first place where you start to feel a little something. Now inhale, come up. Grow the spine a little longer. And then exhale, come forward a little more. One more time. Inhale, get length, nice and long. And exhale now. Head and round. You're going to keep action in the right leg. So even though you're letting your head hang and your spine round here, you're still keeping the hamstrings engaged. Come back to that breath. Now let's incorporate a little square breath here. If you're not familiar with that, I'll just talk you through it. It's an inhale. Whatever the count of your inhale is, you're going to take note. Hold the breath at the top of that inhale for the same count. Exhale out for the same count. That's a controlled exhale. And then you hold the exhale out for the same count. So it's a square, essentially. Inhaling for a specific amount of time, holding at the top, exhaling, and then holding out at the bottom. If that's just too weird for you to deal with right now, just stay with those deep breaths. We will do this on the other side as well. Finishing up, whatever exhale you might be on. Roll yourself up on the inhale, just like when you did that bridge pose. Articulate the movement of the spine as you rise up. We're going to take the left hand outside the left hip. Right arm circles up. If you would like to press up here, go ahead and do so. And exhale. Come on back down. This next one's a little odd. If you haven't been in my class before, I'm not the only one who ever teaches it, but I don't run into teachers doing it very often. So your fingertips are going to be right in line with your left knee here. In other words, you're not going to walk them forward. Press into the hands. Now glue that right hip down. Tuck your chin. This is deep compression for the front of the spine. Continue to press the hands without walking them forward. Keep that right hip grounded. And we're going to deeply round as the forehead moves in the direction of that left knee. It may not come anywhere close, and it doesn't have to. You might be here. And on the inhale, now roll yourself up. Now we come back to this center point here. You have a few options. You can be still. All right, and hopefully you're maintaining some sense of stillness in your mind either way. Stay still. If you want to work on a flat back fold here, you can start to lengthen forward, or go ahead and just let it be relaxed. Just let everything kind of fall into place. Just see where your body needs to go right now. And whatever you've chosen, rising back up. Good. Now we're going to take this into a little different variation. Slide this left foot forward a little bit so you can roll and bring your right leg back. So your right foot, your knee might be directly out to the side. It might be somewhat forward. Again, too, playing with the angle at the bottom here. So find a place where you're definitely feeling internal hip rotation on this right hip. And we're going to take a little twist here. So you're coming over this left leg. Stay here if you'd like, or there might be room to start to come down. Moving on to the forearm. Some of you might come all the way down. Here again, it's not a competition. And really, there's probably not a whole lot of people doing this with you, if anyone right now. So really, the only person you're competing with is yourself. What that means is you're going to win every time and you're going to lose every time. Inhale, roll up. good. Now, just slide this left foot back in. We're going to come right on forward into a table. It'll be at the top of your mat. I'm going to show you from the side here. Yeah, don't worry, I didn't forget the other side. We will get there. But let's just, in the tradition of staying with some circles here like we did it when we were seated, let's take some circles here. Take circles in the other direction. Finding this neutral spine. So we'll take the right leg now, extend it out behind you. Let's add in a little spinal balance here. That left arm's going to come forward. Now if this is too much, you can keep your left hand down. Root into the right hand here. Press firm into that left shin. Let's put a bend into the elbow. That's the knee. Put a bend into the elbow and the knee. And we'll do a little tapping, like you're working to touch the ceiling here. Now go ahead and extend the arm back, the leg back long. I can't decipher my legs and arms today. Reaching back. Now you might just enjoy this stretch here. It's kind of a strange one. Some of you might bend the right knee now and reach back and find a bind on the right foot with the left hand. Couple of options here. You can turn your knees back forward, kind of squaring off the shoulders, or turn and open and even gaze up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes, challenge your balance. Good. And then wherever you are, releasing, placing the left hand back down. The right leg is still lifted here. We're going to actually exhale and cross over. So you're planting the ball of the foot or the top of the foot outside that left leg. Now there's an optional twist here. So kind of revisiting what we just did. You're leaning into the right hand. You might just start to pull this left hand towards the shoulder. Some of you may, you can't see my arm going up here, but you may extend the arm up. Back down. So now we're going to tuck the right knee behind the left. So my knees are actually crossed like this, and the feet are coming a little wider apart. From here, we're going to just move down onto the forearms. Now you're keeping your knees grounded. So as you start to sit your hips back towards your heels, you're not letting your knees come off. In other words, you're not rolling back. Those knees stay grounded, and that's the anchor where the stretch grows from. Continue with those deep breaths. Easy to forget about them. Hopefully during this time you're finding creative, if you're really tapping into your creativity. And that doesn't mean that you're doing art projects, maybe you are. But it gives us a chance to really think outside the box right now. Try to see something positive here. Let's rise back up. Now we're going to extend the right leg back once again. Let's put a little arch in the back. And then rounding in, knee towards the chest, land it. We're coming all the way down to sit on this right heel. Your left leg is extending back behind you. If this does not work for you, please come back onto your back and take your knee into your chest as we did earlier. That's a really nice option. If you're okay here, you're welcome to stay lifted, or just let the body roll out over that right knee. So a little different than pigeon, we're actually sitting on the heel as opposed to having the foot forward. If you would like to add in a little more for the left leg, you can bend and straighten the left knee here. You're going to feel that in the hamstrings and the quad. If you're doing a lot more walking than you normally do, this is kind of a nice stretch for that. bending and straightening that left leg. Just let it come down to rest. And a few breaths here to just really sink in. And rise up. Now, pressing into the hands, if you can, there are some options here. We're going to move either back into a plank from here by curling those left toes under, straightening the leg, and then sliding the right leg back. If you're like, nope, then go ahead and find plank in a different way. Now, be cautious that you're not doing this or you're piking it up here. So a nice straight line, really engage, push back through the heels. You can do this on the knees as well. And then speaking of the knees, let's come on down to the knees and lower. We're going to move this into a Sphinx pose. So you're on your elbows directly under the shoulders here, and my wrists are straight out in front of the elbows, so my hands aren't together here. Now bring your feet wide. So your feet are right at the corners of your mat, the bottom corners there. Lift up the pubic bone, tuck it back down, and then just sitting up tall here. Now, maybe you want to add in a little neck movement here. Let's go ahead. Lower the chin towards the chest, keeping the shoulders drawing back. Heart stays lifted. Maybe just a little moving side to side here, a little half circles with the neck. As with anything else, and especially with the neck, if something feels off about this movement, please do not do it. Now, wherever you might be, bringing your head back to stillness if you're moving it. Staying here if you wish, or you can pivot from the elbows, bring the fingers out, come up on to the hands. This is a seal pose. My arms are actually wide apart here, not right. They're actually off the mat, off the corners of the mat. And maybe there's room to even walk the hands back a bit and lift up. Now remember, it's not this, and it's also not this. Your hips are still rooted, but the shoulders are also down and the heart is lifted. And exhale now, slowly lower down. Now we're going to slide back and move it into a child's pose. Take your time. Toes are together, knees are wide. Sink in. Look, the sun has come out. All right, well, at least it's here. Let's come on up to table. We're going to curl the toes now, lift the hips, and move it back into a downward facing dog. Go ahead and just lift up onto the ball of one, or onto, ball of one foot and then the other. Let the heels release back down. Let's put a bend into the knees, like you're going to come all the way down, and then just pause here. Another kind of exercise that requires you to be really focused, come to the breath, a little strenuous. And then lift it up and back to your downward facing dog. We're going to just lift the right leg here for one breath and then step that foot forward. And we're in a low lunge here. Now, you can be down on the knee as well, if this is too much. But I will tell you where we're heading is we're going to be stepping this left foot forward. So if you did come down on the knee, go ahead and come off of it so you can step your left foot forward. And we're in a standing forward fold. Put a little bend into the knees. And because of the nature of how it's recorded this, it's going to be a little hard for me to get a full standing pose in the frame here, but we are going to roll up to standing. I know you can only see my bottom half right now, but where we're going to go is a warrior 3, so you'll be able to see that in a second. So palms are coming back together here, and we're going to take the left leg, extend it back, and in just a second you're going to see me again. We're going to start to tip forward. Now, because my left leg is straight out behind me, my spine is parallel to the earth. For you, it might not be like this. You might have the leg down a little more, therefore your body will be up more. The one thing you want to try to avoid is taking the body down while the leg is not at the same level. That's a lot harder to do. And then we're going to rise back up. Shake things off. And then roll back down. I know this is all kind of a little awkward here. Snake and do, doing the best that we can with what we've got. Let's walk the hands back forward into a downward facing dog. And then lower down to your knees, and we're going to return to an easy seat. Now, your left foot will be in front here. Sitting up tall, coming back to the breath. And this time the right ear is going to come towards the right shoulder, left hand coming outside the leg. If you want a little more weight, your right hand comes onto your head. Remember, this isn't a forceful yanking of the head, it's just the hand resting on the head to create that weight. And then from here, the head will come to neutral. Extend that right arm up. You're going to start to walk the left hand off to the side, and we're moving into that side bend. Keep your right hip anchored. So it's not this. You want to really keep that hip down and then grow the stretch from there. Inhale, rise up. Slide that left hand behind the back, right hand to the left leg. We're taking our spinal twist. Take the inhale, exhale, gazing back here. Good. Now, if you want to take the left arm up, the arm behind you, go ahead and do so. And in either variation, you're more than welcome to lean in towards the right knee. As you start to unwind, let's slide that left leg off to the side. Make those adjustments, move things around. Foot is flexed. So here we're going to work with that flat back again. Roll the shoulders back, get some length. And then exhale, first breath, you're just coming forward, flat back. Inhale, come up, grow a little longer. Exhale, come forward. And then one more time, inhale, get that length. And exhale. Now, if you want, you can round the spine. We're going to keep action in the left leg, however. So keep the hamstrings engaged. Now let's incorporate that square breath again. The inhale, the hold, the exhale, and the hold out. If you, again, do not wish to do that, just maintain a full deep breath here. Concentrate on the breath into the back body as well. Now we're going to finish that exhale, take it to empty. And roll yourself up. Again, really feel each vertebra stack one upon the next till you're all the way back up to that tall spine. Now right hand's coming behind the right hip. Left arm circles up. Option to stay right here or float the hips up. And exhale, release the hips down. So here's that weird one. We're taking the hands to surround the right knee. Your fingers are going to stay right where they are, right in line with the knee. We're going to press back into the hands, tuck the chin. And the idea here is without walking the hands forward or letting this left hip come up, keep it grounded, you can start to take your head towards your knee. Roll up. Back here at this center point, option to be still, which is what I'm going to do. If you want to come forward with a flat back or round forward, those are also available to you. If you folded, come on back up. We're going to slide the right leg forward a little bit so that you can roll onto that right hip, swing the left leg around. Again, play with your angles here, in the knee, in the hip, so that you find the right expression for you. We're turning now over towards the right, so the hand's coming outside the right leg. This is a lovely twist. You don't need to go anywhere from here. But if you want to, you can start to move down onto the forearms, or maybe you're coming all the way down. Again, using any kind of supports that you might have at home right now. Blankets are a big one, pillows, pull that cushion off the couch, whatever you need to do. And then rising back up. Back to center. And then again, we're going to make that transition to come to table, so however you want to make that happen. We'll do some cat and cows this time, leading with the pelvis as you arch and you round. Now, if you decide that you want a little bit more here, you can walk those knees back a bit, slide the hips back towards the heels when you're rounding in, and then as you inhale and come on up, you can exhale low cobra, bending the elbows as you lower down, press it back up, and slide it back. Now, another option here is to take the chest down first. This is more work for the arms. So you would bend the elbows and then sweep up into your back bend from there. And it doesn't need to be a full cobra. It can be quite low. And then slide back. And of course, remember, just your traditional cat and cow is perfect here. Really, again, tap into what you need. These are all just suggestions for you to play with, for you to expand your canvas, give you a wider palette. And eventually we'll find that neutral spine. Go ahead and extend now the left leg this time, and the right arm's going to come forward. This is our spinal balance. We're going to bend the right elbow, the left knee. Go ahead and tap towards the ceiling here. Looks kind of strange. And then once again, if you want, we're going to straighten the right arm. Now, you can simply reach back here as if you're just going to start to go for the ankle. You might not find it today, and that's okay. If it's there for you, you can grab it, the right hand onto that left ankle. Options are to either keep that heart forward, or maybe you're opening things up a bit, gazing up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes if you want to challenge the balance a bit. And then exhale, release. Now the right hand's coming back down. Left leg is going to stay out long. We're going to cross it over. So you're on the top of the foot here or the ball of the foot. From here, you have the option, again, same move, that right arm's coming out to the side. You might float it up. Your body might be saying that's not going to happen. Honor that. release that right hand back down. Now you're tucking your left knee behind your right, so again it looks like this. Your feet are kind of coming apart from each other, and then we're going to start to sit back. But you're not trying to get your hips onto your heels unless they just naturally go there with your knees staying grounded. So keep those knees on the mat. Continue with those deep breaths. I now know that the next time I make this video, I need to turn off the screen shutdown on my laptop, since I'm learning all kinds of great stuff about technology here. And inhale now. Come on back up. So we're going to take the left leg, lift it up again, little arch in the back here. We're going to slide the knee straight forward. So a little different than that pigeon. Again, do this on your back if this is challenging or you're dealing with a hip or a knee healing right now. Come on over the knee. If you are taking this variation, you're always welcome to stay lifted. You can stack your fists or your hands, or again, put a bolster, a pillow, whatever you might need under your head here to support you. It's also fine to let it hang, as long as it doesn't create a headache. Now there's that option to bend and straighten the right leg. Some of you might already be on top of that, doing it. This is the drawback of not having students in front of me. Sometimes I forget things, and you guys help remind me. And then just let that leg come back down long if you're bending and straightening. Roll up once again. So we're going to move into that same transition to a plank pose. If it's there, you can roll onto the ball of the right foot, kind of lift that right leg and extend the left leg back, or find your way there in a different way. We're not going to stay here for long this time. We're actually coming right on down, however you want to get there. And we're just going to come up onto this left forearm, put a bend into the right knee, and reach back and maybe finding the right foot here. Now you have some options. For some of us, this is going to be enough. If you want to push the foot into the hand, it's going to create a little more opening here in the back if you want more of a back bend. More of a quad stretch. Start to bring that heel in. Now for some of us, that might mean that the fingers can start to drape down over the foot. That's kind of an extreme variation, so don't feel like you have to go there. And don't laugh at me if you are telling me it's totally impossible for you, and why would I ask you if you want to go there? Go ahead and release, and we'll take it to the other side. So you're on your right forearm, I'll turn around here, and then you're bending your left knee, reaching back. So you have the option here. It might just be, this is wonderful. You can push into the foot. This feels really nice. That might be what you need. If you want to, again, get into the quads, you're doing a lot of walking or running or even cycling, this is a nice option, just pulling in. If you're feeling really open, you might be able to start to turn that shoulder forward. And then release. We're going to press up and back and come into a child's pose. Last time here in child's pose for this practice. Table, moving it to downward facing dog. One more time here. Making some movements, doing what you need. And we're going to lift the left leg. just for a breath so you can step it forward. So remember, you can be down on the knee here or stay off the knee for just a low runner's lunge. We're going to make that transition by stepping the right foot forward and you're back in your standing forward fold. So we've got that little awkward balance thing here again. My cactus is attacking me. Let's put a little bend to the knees. Again, we're going to roll all the way up. We'll see you in a second. Bring the palms to the heart center. Let's work on our warrior 3 now on this other side. Left foot is the standing foot. Start by bringing that right leg up. And then just begin to come forward. Your body's only tipping as far forward as that right leg is lifting. And then inhale, come on back up. Find your way back to the mat if you left it. Let's bring the feet wide, and options here are to either come back to seated or coming into a yoga squat. Your arms can be inside. Your squat might be more on the toes with the arms above the knees. Again, make it yours. Bring the hands back out behind you. Straighten out the legs. Cycle out the knees, bounce the knees, move the ankles. We're going to take the feet together now. You've got a diamond shape as opposed to the feet coming all the way in for Baddha Konasana. So this one, more of a yin variation. We're going to take another fold here before we move back onto the back. So tucking your chin. Now, it's very tempting to grab and pull here, but I want you to just render your arms useless. Just going to let them plop. If you're really open, you might even kind of lock them down by putting your legs over top. Of course, that's not necessary, but just find a way to relax into this pose. Roll it back up. Place your feet onto the mat. Let's take a reverse table. Then we'll come down, I promise. Bending the elbows, little rolling back. So this pose begins before the hips even lift. Your chest is already floating upward here. And then from here, go ahead and float the hips up. Chin into the chest, or if the neck allows, the head can come back. Just make sure it's resting in that shoulder girdle. Exhale, lower down. And now go ahead and lower all the way down onto your back. Take one more hip opener here. We're going to do our pigeon variation on the back today. So bring your right ankle onto your left thigh. Your right knee is drawing away from your body. And then from here, you can hug that left knee in. It's fine to leave the left foot down as well. So if that's your exploration today, go there. If it's okay to pull that knee in, back of the thigh or the shin. And let's just roll this around. Now again, be conscious that you're keeping those shoulder blades drawing towards the earth. So keeping the chest and the heart open here rather than caving in. Right, there's a metaphor there. And maybe you want to stretch a little more into that left leg, just extending it straight up with or without a bind. Release any bind you might have taken. We're going to land the left foot. Now keeping your legs where they are in this configuration, open the arms to a T. You are dropping your legs over to the right, so your right foot may be coming down onto the mat here. If that's not working for you, just go back to a regular spinal twist with the knee on top, if that works better for you. If you want to turn the gaze towards the right, you're welcome to. Bringing the legs back to center. Place that right foot back down onto the mat. And we'll take the other side. Left ankle coming onto the right thigh. This is good. Stay here. There's plenty of work in just opening this left knee away. If there's room to draw the right knee, and you can take the shin or the back of the thigh. We're going to keep the right knee bent here for the moment. If you want to move this around, another opportunity to give yourself a massage. I'm assuming most of us who may be used to getting massages are not getting them right now. If you're used to going to a chiropractor, you might not be getting those services. It's such a good thing to keep doing this practice. It's not a replacement for it, but it'll help. If you want to extend the right leg straight up here. Releasing that right foot down. We're keeping the left ankle on the right thigh, opening the arms to a chi, and then dropping the legs off to the right here. I'm feeling I might have said the right last time. I was wrong. So we're now going to the right this time for real. And you're working to press that left foot flat onto the mat as the knee continues to move away from you. Back to center, legs back to center. Place the left foot down. Let's hug the knees in. We're going to just extend the legs straight up towards the ceiling, coming into a candlestick. You're not going to do anything major here. Just allow your arms to come away from you, off to the sides, maybe not quite a T, more like a V. And then just circle these legs nice and slow. Keep them together. Slightest bit of core work here. We're getting some work into the side bodies as well. Nothing too major. Let's change the direction of those circles. Back to center. Bend the knees now. And I want you to give yourself a hug here. Wrap the arms around your legs and squeeze tight. Feel that love that you have for yourself. Thank yourself for taking the time to do this practice today. And when you're ready, we're going to release into our final pose, Shavasana. Letting the arms move away from the sides, feet moving towards the corners. Coming back to your natural breath here. Allow you to take your Shavasana on your own today. So whenever you feel ready to come out of Shavasana, that will be up to you. But please give yourself some ample time here. This is an important pose. I thank you all today for practicing with me. Peace. Namaste.